Buenos dias, all. RGT85 here. Hope everyone is having a great day. We honestly have a lot of stuff to talk about, so we're going to jump straight into it. If this is your first time here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Without any further ado, though, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games, and we're going to start things off with Sonic Frontiers. Now, Sonic Frontiers, of course, comes out tomorrow. We have our first batch of reviews that are up on places like Metacritic.com, and the game is scoring very high. There's lots of 8s, there's lots of 9s. There is one score that's kind of dragging down the Metacritic right now because there's not too many scores out there. It was a website called Digital Trends. They gave the game a 1 out of 5, which that's kind of poppycock to me because I have to be honest with you guys. I've actually been playing Sonic Frontiers for about 5 days now on my Steam account. Yes, the PC Gamer RGT PC, whatever the hell you want to call it. Steam Deck. I'm a Steam Deck channel now. I've been playing this game a ton on my Steam Deck and on my Steam account. I'm almost done with the game, so I will be done with it probably tonight. But my plan is I want to review the Switch version of the game because what I want to do is essentially I'm going to get the Switch version whenever it releases on an eShop in any region, whatever, and then check that version out for a couple hours to see how it performs against the Steam version and then make a video on it because we haven't actually gotten many, if any, Switch dedicated reviews for this game, and I feel like this is a perfect game for the Nintendo Switch. Now, like I said, I've been playing it a ton. I'm almost done with the main game. It's a very meaty game, like super long, and I've been having an absolute blast with the game. There's some things I don't like, but for the most part, I've just had a stupid smile on my face because it's been a very enjoyable experience. If you're kind of on the fence about this game, at least on the Steam version and more than likely the PlayStation and Xbox versions, it's definitely worth checking out. If the performance of the game can hold up on the Nintendo Switch, and I have seen some footage of the game that looks pretty comparable, it's definitely going to be an awesome game. When playing it on the Steam Deck, I actually have to put it to lower settings for whatever reason. I don't think there's a Proton pack that's equipped for that game quite yet. So I've actually felt like I've been playing the Switch version of the game already, but we'll have to see how that translates. Overall, though, Sonic Frontiers, they freaking did it, man. I think they freaking did it. They made a fun 3D Sonic game in the modern era. Some really good ass music too. Like, people made fun of me on Twitter when they had the theme song for the game that came out and Sega posted it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like Jenny, you know, this is like a little bit of metalcore, and everyone's like, you don't know what Gen is. You don't know what metalcore is. However, that band reprises their role in this game whenever you're doing the boss battles, and there's guttural screams, there's squealies, there's drop A tuned guitar. So I was right about that. It's very Veil of Maya-ish. We'll talk more about this game tomorrow though, so be on the lookout for that review. But so far, so good with this game, and I just hope and pray that the Switch version performs well. The next big game for the Nintendo Switch is, of course, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and like every major Nintendo Switch game, this game has leaked online, so if you're looking forward to this game, you should probably hop off the Twitters, hop off the social medias, because there's going to be lots of posts about this game with potential spoilers circling around. Now, I kind of question, like, what is really going to be spoiled? I mean, maybe some Pokemon types, and I guess regions and stuff. It's not like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet probably has like a super deep story or anything like that, but we've seen this time and time again. People get mad because they get spoiled on it. You don't need to be on social media anyway. Social media is a cesspool. If I did not run a YouTube channel, I would not have social media. I don't care what some idiot in Kentucky thinks about me and, you know, thinks about how I do videos and if he likes it or not. Like, I'm just here to entertain people in general, and if they like it, cool. If not, move on with their life. I'm not here to get in Twitter spats with people. Like, it's just ridiculous to me. So yes, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet have fully leaked online. It always happens. People get early copies of the game through probably nefarious means, because I don't even know if there's review copies out there right now, and then they post them online, they upload them online. There's a place called Centro Leaks that pretty much told Nintendo to F off. They're gonna leak everything because they're in a Latin American country where there's not even an eShop, so are they really gonna come after them in these Latin American companies? It's a wild freaking story. I read about it over the weekend, and it's not really worth talking about too much in depth because, you know, you fly too close to the sun, eventually you're going to get burned. But yes, shield your eyes, kiddos. Make sure you don't catch the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks unless you don't care, and then go look at them and enjoy them. Speaking of Pokemon related things, it looks like a next generation Pokemon experience is currently getting some research and development and potentially being worked on for this. We've talked many of times about a new piece of Nintendo Switch hardware, whether it's a successor or just a, a refresh of the system we got. We're not here to talk too much in depth about what that is actually going to be. But when you're talking about Pokemon, you essentially are talking about three companies. You're talking about Game Freak, of course, you're talking about Nintendo, and you're also talking about Creatures Inc. Well, an interesting post was found over on Reddit talking about Creatures Inc. I'm showing the mynintendonews.com version of it. If you want to check out the website, do that. I'm not linking it because YouTube doesn't like it when you leak things. And yeah, something's going on. Something is finally going on. Looking at the summary here, they are currently looking for a 3D CG modeler, according to a recent job listing. However, what makes the job listing somewhat interesting is that it mentions research and development for other next generation hardware. It also mentions the Unity and Unreal Engine video game engines as in the same service overview that the job has. So you can look here at the actual source of the job. We're gonna, oh wow. So yeah, here's got Tony Danza. Oh, Tony, hold me closer, Tony Danza. But obviously this is being done with something Pokemon related. And Creatures Inc., I mean, they're a company much like the Pokemon company. Like, technically they can do stuff on other consoles. It doesn't necessarily have to be Pokemon related, but they don't. They just work with Nintendo. Nintendo does own a percentage of Pokemon related stuff. But I mean, we saw, what was that, Little Town game or something like that Game Freak did that had really nice graphics, but the gameplay was kind of a little bit wonky. I don't think the name of it was Little Town. I think it was Little Town something. I forget the name of the game. It just kind of came and went for the Switch. But something is brewing with this, kiddos. Something is obviously brewing with this if they're looking for a next generation sort of hardware modeler when it comes to their games, because it has to be Nintendo related. Yes, it's a very vague thing, but they're not developing games for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, and realistically, those are not next generation consoles. Those consoles have been on the market for over 2 years now. Those are the current gen models. So next generation has to mean a new piece of hardware. So what is that new piece of hardware? Is it something that's a full-on successor? Is it something that is just an incremental upgrade, once again keeping the Nintendo Switch branding but has more power to it, thus making it potentially considered the next generation? I don't really know. I don't really know, but I do know that it's about damn time. You gotta start talking about this at some point in time. Like, the thing of it is, at the end of the day, the Nintendo Switch is not going to last forever. It's not Terry Funk, okay? It eventually has to be replaced or supplemented by another system. I think that time that, this hourglass of sand is starting to run a little bit low on the Switch. Like, yes, it still sells very well, but now you're starting to see cracks in the foundation. We've talked about this on other videos. Make sure you guys go check that out. But I definitely feel like it's time to start talking about something. It's time for consumers to once again get excited about whatever Nintendo is doing in the future. So when will we see this? I'm hoping next year. At the very least, talk about the damn thing next year. Start slashing the prices of the baseline Nintendo Switch. But then you look at the Black Friday stuff for the Switch and you're kind of like, oh, Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. And speaking of Nintendo, we have a surprise Nintendo Direct Indie World presentation happening this week, November 9th, Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. They put it as 9 a.m. Pacific Time. I don't live in the Pacific. I live on the East Coast, Beast Coast. Where you at? Represent. Anyways, yeah, so this will be taking place on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so I could sleep in, even though my sleep schedule has been pretty good since daylight savings has happened. And it'll have about 25 minutes of various Nintendo Switch indie-related titles. Now, these Indie World presentations, and really Nintendo Directs in general, at least recently with the last Nintendo Direct, have been a bit hit or miss. You either really like them or you really don't like them. There have been some Indie World presentations where I've been like, yo, this is tight, like, this is good stuff. And then there's been some where I'm like, yo, this is garbage. I did not enjoy this. And that's how it really goes with these. When you think of indie games, you have to remember that that indie title has grown exponentially. It's not just like, crappy looking games that look like they were designed for the Atari 2600 anymore. I mean, we saw information on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at these Indie World presentations. So really, you could have a lot of stuff happening at this. I'm not going to sit here and downplay this as something that's not going to be potentially exciting. Could there be some Hollow Knight related stuff at this event? I mean, there could be. There's a great variety of indie stuff out there for the Switch. I do feel like Nintendo kind of tries to give too much shine to smaller games and more niche games, and I guess that's kind of the point of this. They want to have a variety of stuff, but if you have a heavy hitter alongside of it, it makes the whole presentation much more enjoyable. Considering that this is happening towards the end of the year, I have to imagine there's going to be some heavy hitter related stuff here. Usually when there's an Indie World presentation, you also get another Nintendo Direct pretty close to it. So what does that mean for it? You know, like a general Nintendo Direct? Because I'm not expecting one of those. I think this will be the only thing we get. But that would kind of be a bit of bucking the trend when it comes to how Nintendo usually handles these presentations. I'm excited for it though. I'm hoping there's at least one or two like real banger titles on there, because I mean, indies are cool, man. There's some really awesome indie games that are out there, and you know, indie developers, they deserve respect, and they deserve for their games to be, you know, kind of given a bit of spotlight from time to time, because you know, they might not have the big budgets of a company like EA or Activision or stuff like that, but you can argue that some of their games are even better stuff. So what do you want to see at this presentation? What are you hoping to see? Are you a Hollow Knight cultist? Is that what rustles your jimmies? That's what turns you on, you sick freak. Or what are you looking forward to at this event? Let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty, so we covered a bunch of stuff in this video, and I think I did it in a pretty timely manner looking at the clock on my camera. Alright, so we covered a ton of stuff in this video, and I did it in a very timely manner because I'm not here to waste your time. I just want you to be educated about stuff. So let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. Like I said, Sonic Frontiers, it should be up tomorrow. I don't really need to sleep too much today. Hopefully it launches in another region, you know, like Japan or New Zealand, and I could get it off the eShop there, so that way I can play it during the daytime. If not, I guess I'll wait till midnight and just play it and not sleep because, you know, screw my health. What do you think about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaking? Are you surprised by it? Because you shouldn't be. What do you think about this Creatures Inc. job listing? Because it's pretty much black and white, clear as crystal. And this Nintendo Direct presentation with indie games. What are you looking forward to in this event? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I had a very family intensive weekend. I'm surprised I managed to get videos out. My mother came into town from Wednesday to Saturday, so that's why I wasn't streaming. Or she actually left early Sunday morning, and then early Sunday afternoon, my stepdad came into town to see me. So it's been a lot of damn family. But you know what? Family's cool. There's nothing wrong with family. Where's your ice at? Get your ice at. We got the Sonic ice in the building. What's good? I'm gonna wear this for the damn review tomorrow. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.